Hello friends, once upon a time in a village, at the foot of a mountain, there lived a very intelligent student. He was a voracious reader, and had read almost all the books in his father's library. He would often boast about how well read he was. "I've read so many books," he would say, "that there is probably no one in the whole village who can match my knowledge." One day, he decided to go to the top of the mountain to see if he could find some more books. On his way, he saw an old and shabby hut, and thought, "Wow, there must be some old books in there." So he knocked on the door and said, "Hello, is anyone home?" A calm voice came from inside saying, "Yes, I am here." The boy pushed open the door and walked in. He saw an old monk sitting calmly inside. "I am looking for some books to read," he said to the monk. "Oh, I have just the thing for you," the monk replied with a smile. He went behind a bamboo curtain and returned with a worn-out book. It was so old that the title had been erased. "Here you go," said the monk. "This should keep you busy for a while." The student took the book and sat down to read it. He opened the first page and found the words, "When you think you know it all, you actually know nothing." He frowned. He had come here for books, not for lectures. As soon as he turned the next page, he read, "Those who are eager to learn must first empty themselves." He was furious. Who was this book written by? How dare it talk to him like that? He stood up, went to the monk and said, "This book is saying some very strange things." The monk looked at him and asked, "What does it say?" "It says that those who want to learn must first empty themselves." The boy said angrily, "That's right," said the monk calmly. "Do you want to learn?" The boy nodded. "Then empty yourself," said the monk. The boy didn't understand what he meant. So the monk poured some tea into a cup and handed it to him. The boy took the cup, but before he could thank the man, the monk poured more tea into the cup until it overflowed and spilled onto the table. "Why did you do that?" the boy asked, confused. "Like this cup, your mind is full. To learn, first empty yourself," said the monk. The boy didn't understand what the monk was trying to tell him, so he stayed quiet and looked at the spilled tea on the table. After a while, the monk said, "Would you like some more tea?" The boy nodded. The monk poured the tea into the cup again, and this time the boy took it very slowly and carefully. He looked at the cup, then at the monk, and finally asked, "Is there some hidden meaning in this tea?" The monk smiled and replied, "You are exactly right. Like this cup, our minds are also full. We fill our minds with information without taking the time to reflect on what we have learned. We just keep learning more and more, thinking that we will become wise someday. But true wisdom comes when we have emptied ourselves of all the information we have collected. Only then can we truly be filled with knowledge." The boy thought for a moment. He realized that he was exactly like that cup. His mind was full of information, but he had never taken the time to reflect on what he had learned. He had just kept reading more and more books, thinking that he would become knowledgeable someday. But he knew now that true knowledge came from within, not from books. He apologized to the monk and said, "I am sorry for being arrogant and thinking that I know everything. Please teach me how to empty my mind." The monk smiled and said, "You don't have to empty your mind, you just have to be still and quiet. When you are still and quiet, your mind will automatically become empty. Then you will be ready to learn." He led the boy to a nearby lake and sat him down on a stone. "Now, close your eyes and relax," the monk said. The boy closed his eyes and relaxed. He felt the sun on his face and the wind in his hair. He listened to the birds singing and the water flowing. And for the first time in his life, he felt at peace. As the days passed, the boy continued to visit the monk and practice being still and quiet. He started to feel that his mind was becoming lighter and clearer. He began to see the world around him with new eyes. He noticed the beauty of a flower, the majesty of a mountain, and the kindness of a stranger. He realized that true knowledge came from experiencing life, not from reading about it. One day, the boy asked the monk, "I feel like my mind is becoming more peaceful and calm, but I still can't understand what you mean by emptying your mind. Can you explain it to me?" The monk looked at him and said, "When you stop filling your mind with useless information and stop judging everything and everyone, your mind will become empty. When you are no longer attached to your thoughts and emotions, you will be free from suffering. This is what it means to empty your mind." The boy thought about the monk's words. He realized that he had been holding on to his thoughts and emotions very tightly. He had been attached to his ideas and beliefs, and this had caused him a lot of suffering. But now he was starting to let go of his attachment, and he was feeling lighter and happier because of it. After spending several months with the monk, the boy felt that he had learned much more than he could ever have imagined. He thanked the monk for his teachings and said goodbye. As he walked away, he knew that he would never forget what he had learned. He realized that the true meaning of life was not to acquire more knowledge, but to become wiser. And wisdom, he knew, came from within. So, my dear friends, just like that cup, our minds too are full. We fill our minds with information without taking the time to reflect on what we have learned. So remember, to learn something new, first, empty yourself. Let go of your attachment to your thoughts and emotions, and be still and quiet. Only then will you be ready to learn. And when you learn, don't just acquire more knowledge. Strive to become wiser. for wisdom is the true meaning of life. So that's our story for today. If you liked this story, please hit the like button, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching.